Oh, good morning. Welcome back to the channel. This morning we are out at the McCloud Nature Park, place we've been before. It's a cold, snowy morning, you know, and as I'm walking down the trail here, I notice, I'll turn the camera on here so you can see, but I noticed there's some deer tracks here. So there's been a deer through here just recently. So hold on, let me show you. There you can see. Obviously it was headed away from the water here as I'm walking down towards the creek. But definitely sometime here not too long ago there was a deer through here. Looks like he was actually down here probably at the creek. At least that's what it looks like. Alright, so why are we here? Well, wanted to come out and, you know, it was supposed to snow this morning, so I thought, you know what, come out and see what things look like. You know, maybe find a good image or so. One of the things I was thinking of doing was, you know, actually trying a little bit of landscape photography with the RF 100 to 400. Don't know how that will look in here, but might pull that out here and give that a shot. We're gonna, you know, continue down this trail, see if I can find a composition, and once I do, yeah, we'll set up and we'll talk a little bit about it, so stay tuned. Right, so first composition this morning isn't using the RF 100 to 400. Came across this little scene here, as you can see. Alright, you know, I just thought it looked kind of nice with the snow, you know, the little island out there, so I thought I would set up, you know, and as usual, you know, I'm setting up, you know, at my normal, you know, f11 ISO 100. That's pretty common for me. All right, what I like to shoot at, you know, and we're looking at about 0.8 of a second here, you know, to capture this. So take the image itself. Here, I'll show you the back of my camera so you can see. And basically, this is what you're coming up with. You get a little bit of reflection. All right, you get a little bit of water motion. All right, and you're capturing the snow on the, not only on the little islands there in the middle of the creek, but you've also got the snow and everything on the trees and everything out in the distance. So I think it looks pretty good. Now, while I'm sitting here or standing here, just, you know, taking a look at this, there is some, you know, some pine trees off here in the distance, you know, with the snow on them. They look pretty good. It might not be a bad idea to take a picture of the RF 100 to 400 from a distance. A little bit simple. Let me turn around here and show you. And if you look right out here, all right, that might make a nice, you know, simple, you know, landscape from this spot, which I might turn things around here and give that a shot here in just a second. So let's finish up with this particular shot, and then switch around here and see if we can come up with another one. All right, so now we've changed things around. All right, gone to a portrait setup, switched over to the RF, you know, 100 to 400. All right, and we are, you know, trying to take an image of those trees off in the distance. And here you can see the back of my camera. Hopefully you can see that. All right, and see what we're shooting. And we're not, at this point, you know, I'm shooting basically with the same settings I always do. All right, which we're going to change that up here, because one of the things I need to do more of this year is do things a little bit differently. I mean, that's a challenge for myself. Try to do things a little bit differently. You've been doing it, so that way you can end up with maybe better images. You never know. All right, and using an RF 100 to 400 for landscape photography, can't say I've ever done anything like that. Never used a 100 to 400 for anything, to be perfectly honest. You know, so this is the first shot at it. You know, and it is pretty interesting when you look. You know, it doesn't look bad. I mean, it really doesn't. It looks pretty good. You know, again, if you look at that. You know, something new that I haven't ever really tried to do. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to move around a little bit, see if I can come up with a little bit different composition using the same lens, you know, and we'll get back here and take a look at it. Now, if the image here of the pine trees off in the distance turns out, I'll put it in right here. Well, we really didn't have to move too much with, you know, the snow and everything this morning. you know, the like it or not, there's a billion potential, you know, photographs. I mean, just the environment this morning and the atmosphere this morning makes it really good. So it's not really that difficult, you know, to find a photograph. So all I did was literally I turned basically around 180 degrees, all right, and I'm looking. If you can see over here, basically there's just a tree coming up out of the water, and you can see there's snow, all right, you know, on the branches. They're on the branches, actually, basically on the tree itself. So then I've turned around, you know, with the 100 to 400, all right, and now I'm zooming in at 400, all right, on just one end that's coming up out of the snow and the water. And here you can see the back of my camera, all right. You can see what I'm looking at, and of course I'm going to shoot at f8, still at ISO 100. I'm 1/5 of a second, all right, focusing right in on that, all right. So when you do that, all right, 2-second delay, doesn't look like much, right? So then you take a look, all right, and you can see that you can not only do you get the tree coming up out of the water, you got the snow on it, but you can see a little bit of movement in the water as well, all right, which is really pretty nice. So hopefully that very simple image really turns out, and if it does, I'll throw it in right here. All right, so I've gotten a couple questions lately that I thought I would take a second and try to answer them here. All right. One of the questions was, what's your YouTube channel really about? All right. What's its purpose? Well, what I basically state is it's just using photography to get outside and enjoy life. But I guess it's really just a little bit more than that. When you watch YouTube, you see it's filled with professional photographers that are out, taking images, making videos and stuff to explain how they do things. But you don't see a lot from the amateur who works in my case, a 60+ hour week, works 6-7 days a week. You don't really see much, about the average everyday photographer, what they do. And that's really what this is about. All right. I'm not a professional. I don't do this for a living. I work a regular job, but I enjoy to get out, and take some images. And so that's really what this channel is about, is the average everyday amateur photographer. How do you find time to get out and take images? And again, most of us don't live in exotic places, like the Grand Tetons, or we don't live in the Lake District, all right, over in the UK, or, any of the beautiful areas of Scotland or really around the world. Most of us, don't have that, kind of money. We don't have that kind of time to be able just to go and do that, because we have other things going on in our lives. And that's really what this channel is about. Taking a few minutes, getting outside, enjoying life, taking some images when you have a little bit of free time, and sharing it with the world. And that's really what I aim to do, or I've been trying to do. All right. The other question, was, what do you do? Well, what do I do? I've been, working in manufacturing operations for over 30 years, and that's exactly what I do. Now, I'm not going to talk about who I work for, how different companies I've worked for. I've moved around quite a bit over the last 34, 35 years. But, I work in manufacturing. I work in manufacturing operations, supply chain, those kind of things, and that's what I do on a normal day. All right, but on a day like this morning, when the weather is really nice, I would call it nice. It's a little cold, but it's nice. Just get an opportunity, get up early on a Sunday morning, which is what this is. All right, get outside and go out here and take a few images. And again, I think I'm going to stop right here and take this image, and I might even shoot this with a wide angle lens, but, turn this around here so you can see what I'm looking at. All right, and again, you see all the snow. You can see the creek here to the right, and you can see the old rail bridge up ahead, and the path, or the trail, as you can see, kind of leads a leading line directly to it. So I think that might actually end up being a fairly nice image. So I'm going to, stop, set up, and see if I can capture it. So let's see what turns out here. All right, so I'm going to end the video here. You know, scene here behind me, one we were just taking an image of. Just want to thank everybody for coming along. Thank everybody for watching. Greatly appreciated. Please, you know, give me a thumbs up if you like it. You know, like what you see. You know, subscribe would be great. You know, most importantly, just as I always say, just get outside and enjoy life. You know, and again, when you're out, you know, taking images. I've said this many times, and I know it goes a little bit against some of what you hear from professionals, but it really truly is something I believe in. You're not taking these images necessarily to be out there selling them to the world. You're taking these images for you. All right, you're taking them for yourself. So always take images of things, you know, that catch your eye, things that you like. Start with that, all right, and then work into it, you know, some of the basic elements, whether it's foreground elements, leading lines, you know, whatever it may be that you want to try to practice and get better at, you know. But most importantly, take pictures of things that you like, and you don't have to live in a big, fancy, exotic place. All you have to do is just get out, you know, and go, you know, look at, you know, find some place close to home, you know, and just go around and see what you can find. Sometimes it will be a nice old rail bridge that you have back over here, or a creek, you know, like this is a place called the McCloud Nature Park, or Nature Preserve, you know, here near North Salem, Indiana. It's about 35 minutes from where I live, you know, and it's close to home, and it offers a lot of different options, you know, and that's kind of what you got to look for. Find something like this, you know, in your area, get out and just take some shots of it. You don't have to be in the Tetons. You don't have to be in Yellowstone. You don't have to be in the Smokies. All great places, don't get me wrong. I love to go there and take images myself, but you're not there every day. All right, but you can certainly get up on a Sunday morning when the weather isn't great, you know, hop in your car, go out, you know, and see what you can find. And that's kind of what I like to do, and you know, that's what this video has kind of been about. Now we also use the RF 100 to 400, you know, for a few of our images, and we'll see how it turns out. Right now we're using the R5 with a 15 to 35 to actually, you know, in this video I've done it a couple times through here as opposed to just using my GoPro, you know, so we'll see how that turns out, because you know, from some of my other videos, you know, I struggle sometimes to get good video out of the R5. So we'll see how all this stuff turns out. All right, so again, get outside, enjoy life, you know, take some images, have a little bit of fun, you know, and you know, most importantly, till we see you again, stay safe.